Welcome back to Dark Corners Streaming.
But the bats, man! The bats!
In the 10 years of her career prior to 1932, Fay Wray had not been in a single horror film. Likewise, the latter 30 years of her career. But from 1932 to 33, she was in 5 horror films, culminating in that for which she will always be remembered. The others were mostly made during Kong's more complex production, The Most Dangerous Game we have previously reviewed. But there's also Dr. X and Mystery of the Wax Museum for Warner Brothers, pairing Wray with Lionel Atwill, the British theatre star who declared himself to be one of those few stage actors who really like the films and admit it. At first glance, the vampire bat seems to be a third in this series.
Particularly a palpitation of the auriculoventricular, tricuspid and mitral valves, Doctor.
But despite the presence of Wray and Atwill, this was made by Poverty Row studio Majestic, inspired by the proven success of Dr. X and anticipated success of Wax Museum, which had been shot but not released, and Majestic managed to shoot and release their film before Wax Museum came out. And, as if they wanted to leave nothing to chance, Wray and Atwill are only the tip of the horror iceberg. Dwight Fry was fresh from Dracula and Frankenstein, as were some of the sets.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night to attack their victims and drink the blood from their veins.
Leading man Melvyn Douglas had just appeared in The Old Dark House, as had some of the sets.
But how else can we explain these terrible deaths?
Lionel Belmore had been the Burgermeister in Frankenstein and plays the same role here, while Robert Fraser was in White Zombie, produced by Phil Goldstone, who also produced The Vampire Bat, while the screenplay was by Hunchback of Notre Dame scenarist Edward T. Lowe Jr., who would go on to write some of Universal's late horrors.
I feel as though I was going to faint.
It's quite a horror CV, and if the film itself is more mystery than horror...
A madman who kills to satisfy some violent, sadistic urge.
Yes, you're right, Karl.
then that detracts from it in no way. Mysterious deaths in the town of Klineschloss lead to the obvious conclusion.
Vampires are at large, I tell you.
Though local cop Karl is having none of it.
While you're hunting for vampires and chasing bats, I'm looking for a human being.
He has an ally in local doctor Otto van Niemann.
There are many strange happenings, my boy. Many mysteries beyond the power of the human mind to comprehend.
And his attractive assistant Ruth.
Are your kisses dynamite?
Whose hypochondriac aunt provides comic relief.
This clammy old place is bound to give me pericarditis, enterocolitis, neuritis, rheumatism. You have some coffee?
While the town's suspicions fall on Fry's Herman, who has an affinity with bats.
They soft, like cat.
That's the setup, and without wanting to give the end away, it proceeds to a conclusion that is, if anything, weirder than a mere vampire would have been. But if this is pretty slight, it's still a cracking film along the way, punching stylistically far above its weight, even employing colour in the Bronson Canyon chase scene, though this is the restored version. The original was, I'm told, hand-tinted. Majestic pulls off what few Poverty Row studios were able to. They got the right people, all in the right place at the same time, with a fun script.
You give me apple, Herman give you nice soft bat.
In the ranking of Fay Wray's 9-month run of horror films, The Vampire Bat probably does come last, but that's more an indication that she had a really good year. It's available on YouTube, or you can watch the colorized abomination on Prime, obliterating all trace of atmosphere. Thanks for watching. Are you a fan of this film or Fay Wray? What other films can boast a horror CV like this one? Let us know in the comments below.